nice to see you.
Yeah.
Relationships are hard. Parenting is even harder. And you have some documents that you brought with us today. And you're also a teacher at the community colleges of Spokane, helping people, particularly with parenting. It's a tough job.
It is.
What are some of the things that you offer in terms of basic advice for parents?
Well, you know, I teach for the Institute for Extended Learning, which is the third branch campus of the community colleges, and I've been offering workshops for their parent co-ops through Meade and locally with Janet Gunn, and I teach life skills classes. And one of the things we've been doing this last week was looking at a whole brain approach to communication. So I look at parents as that they are the ones who are the most important teachers for their children, and the way they model their relationship literally wires their child's brain about how they're going to relate to others.
And it's such an important thing to set an example, correct?
Absolutely. We know that children have mirror neurons, which means that even at 42 minutes old, they will start to mirror that. If a parent sticks out their tongue, their child will mirror that. So the quality of the parent's relationship is the soil that nurtures the template of the child's brain. And I want to really compliment Q6 because of your Success by 6 campaign. You're focusing on support for children under 6 years old. And we know that children's brains are about 90% wired by the time they're 6 years old. So what they're learning in those early formative years is forming a template for their own future relationships, whether it be with siblings, kids at school, later on with coworkers, and for future partners. So what they're learning from their parents is so important.
You brought some, I guess, a chart with us or a diagram here.
Yes.
Some books. Just share real quickly, if you could, with us what you have.
I'd be glad to. This is a book that I wrote in 2009. It was published through Parenting Press. It's called Why Don't You Understand? Improve Communication Through the 4 Thinking Styles. The community colleges supported me to be able to get training through Herman International, and so I apply what was being applied for business in terms of communication to parenting. So we look at 4 different thinking styles, and these are not only left brain, but right brain. Some people think more with their head in terms of logical and creative. Other people think more with their gut or their heart in terms of the practical and the relational. And we find that whole brain parenting uses all 4 and can switch gears whenever we need to.
And there are a lot of things that we can take out of this for any relationship. Is
Absolutely.
that correct? What would those 2 or 3 things be, quickly?
Well, since you are Q6, I thought of a Q-tip. That
Nice.
Quit taking it personal. That sometimes when we're in arguments with someone, we are arguing because we think that they should think the way we do.
Yeah,
rather
they
than
want to win the argument.
Absolutely. Rather than really appreciating that there's 4 different ways to approach it, and how can we walk around an issue from 4 different thinking styles, plus how to access our higher thinking brain to shift to neutral when we're upset, so we don't do things that we regret later on, and then that we can access our best way to really hear each other versus get louder in our own perspective.
We have actually a married couple here at KHQ, or at least one of the gentlemen that works here. He and his wife attend a class of yours.
Yes.
Tell folks real quickly about the classes that you teach there.
Sure. Well, the Parent Co-op was offering a class, and it was called How to Support Happy Children Through Happier Parents, which is actually the second chapter in my book. And it's like, if we want children to be happier, what we're finding is new research is literally, to be smarter, is that the parent's relationship is that absolute soil that enriches the seed. And they're mirroring for children how to behave, and that conflict is a given in every relationship. So when we teach kids how to model repair moves, we're teaching them that we're all human, we all make mistakes, and we can actually connect through conflict versus having that unravel. And also to look at that when we need to set limits, we first connect by listening to their emotions and their feelings, and then later we set the limit. So we get both, the left brain and right brain in terms of emotional and also setting appropriate boundaries.
Some great advice, Susie. If somebody were interested in taking a class, what would be the number that they would call to get a hold?
Well, we're going to be offering a workshop at Meade on Tuesday through the Parent Co-op there, but also on Saturday, November 19th, I'm going to be offering a workshop through St. Joseph Family Center. It's called If You've Got Grit in Your Oyster, Learn How to Transform It into the Pearl Process. But all of us have challenges, but if we look at it in new ways, we can transform it to make for good in all of our lives.
All right, Susie, well, thanks for coming
Thank you
down
so much.
and way to represent with the pearls there.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
good stuff. We appreciate it.